My sister kept telling everyone at family gatherings that my baby wasn't my husband's child as a hilarious joke. She went pale when I made her remember her funny crime. When our daughter Nora was born, she had the brightest blue eyes. Neither my husband Wesley nor I have blue eyes, but my mother did, and so did Wesley's father. And the pediatrician said it was completely normal, that it happens when both parents quietly carry the recessive gene. Everyone understood this except my sister Vivian. At Nora's first family gathering when she was 3 weeks old, Vivian took one look at her and said, "Well, we know what happened here," and winked at everyone. "Blue eyes don't come from nowhere," she said. "Maybe I had some explaining to do." My mom told her to stop. Vivian said she was just joking. Couldn't anyone take a joke anymore? But she didn't stop. At my nephew's birthday, she asked Wesley if he wanted a paternity test for Christmas. At the 4th of July barbecue, she asked me in front of 15 relatives if I wanted to confess anything. Each time she'd laugh and say she was kidding, and each time I watched it get a little deeper into Wesley. His mother started asking if he was sure. His brother pointed out that Nora didn't have his chin. One night I caught Wesley looking up DNA testing websites. He said he was just curious about ancestry stuff. At Thanksgiving, Vivian brought a DNA kit as a gift, wrapped in baby paper with a card that said, "For when you're ready for the truth," and announced to the whole table what it was. Wesley walked out and left me there with our baby and 20 relatives staring. I found him in the car, crying, saying we should just do the test to shut everyone up. I told him if he needed a test after 4 years and a planned pregnancy, we had bigger problems than Vivian. She wasn't making jokes anymore. She was running a campaign, spacing the cruelty out so that just when things felt calm, another post or comment would land. She posted pictures of blue-eyed actors captioned "Nora's real daddy." She started a group chat with female relatives, writing that I'd been distant around a certain coworker when I'd actually been on bed rest the last 2 months of the pregnancy. She said it so confidently that relatives started agreeing. My cousin told me Vivian was placing bets on when Wesley would leave me. My mom kept telling me to rise above it, so I stayed quiet, and every time I did, I could feel a little more of my marriage getting eaten away. The breaking point came at Nora's first birthday party. We'd made it clear Vivian wasn't welcome. She showed up anyway, and when Nora opened her gift in front of everyone, it was a onesie with a big question mark where the word daddy should have been, and underneath still waiting on results. The room went silent. Wesley stood up, took Nora, and walked to our bedroom, and I heard the door lock. Vivian was laughing, saying we needed to lighten up. It was a gag gift. That's when I lost it. I told her she was a miserable woman who destroyed relationships for entertainment, that her 2 divorces made sense now, that even her own kids barely spoke to her. She said if my marriage was that weak, it deserved to be destroyed. My mom tried to step in, but I wasn't done. I announced to the whole room everything she'd done for a year. The rumors, the betting pool, making my husband so paranoid he was looking at DNA tests. This wasn't humor, I said. It was cruelty. Vivian tried to leave. I followed her to the door, and I told her that if she ever contacted us again, ever made another joke, ever mentioned my daughter's eyes, I'd tell everyone what she did to Dad while he was dying. Her face went white. She tried to force out that same high laugh she always made, except it came out shaky and wrong, and her voice cracked when she said I was being dramatic. So I followed her onto the porch, and I spoke loud enough that everyone inside could hear me through the open door. I said we could discuss Dad's missing $38,000 right here in front of everyone, if that's what she wanted. I asked how she'd explain Dad's signature appearing on checks during his last 6 months of hospice, when his hands shook so badly he couldn't hold a fork. I told her I had copies of every forged check, and the fake life insurance form that moved everything to her 3 weeks before he died, locked in my safe. She turned and ran to her car, dropping her keys twice before she got the door open, and her tires squealed out of the driveway. Then I walked back inside, where my entire family was waiting, and my mother was standing right behind me with a look that told me the part I'd kept secret for 2 years was about to become everyone's business. Click here to watch part 2 of the story.